Hello, my name's Adam, hypnotherapist here at Wholehearted Hypnosis. I'm going to be putting together a series of videos about anxiety. It's something I'm seeing a lot of people about at the moment, and hypnosis is proving to be very, very helpful. Now, something that you can do before you even choose to come and see someone like me is just to become more aware of what's happening in your head. And by that I mean starting to pay attention to those anxious thoughts and feelings as they arise. Because when you become more aware, more conscious of those thoughts and feelings, you give yourself the opportunity to do something about those thoughts and feelings, rather than it being an automatic process of those thoughts and feelings coming up and then you having an anxious response. So I often work with people to teach them how to do this, but you can do it quite simply yourself. And I would ask you just to gently sit by yourself and become aware of your thoughts. Hello again, Adam from Wholehearted Hypnosis, another anxiety tip, and I hope this will help you if you're having a challenge in and around anxious thoughts and feelings. Now, invariably when someone comes into my clinical practice and their challenge is anxiety, they are very tense. And I'm sure if you have suffered any kind of anxiety, you will notice physical tension in your body and you'll notice some tension in your mind. So the first thing I do with people is show them how to relax deeply. And almost invariably, the simple practice of relaxing helps them attend to their anxious thoughts and feelings in a more helpful way. Now, how can you do this right now? It's quite simple. If you just allow yourself to sit or lie somewhere comfortable and focus on each part of your body in turn, see if you can relax those muscles just by paying attention. It doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. Hello again, Adam from Wholehearted Hypnosis with another anxiety tip, and I hope this will help you if you're challenged by anxious thoughts and feelings at the moment. What we can all tend to do from time to time is focus on the negative aspects of our living experience. And when anxiety is present and it's building up and becoming a challenge, it can be really difficult to see the more positive aspects of one's life. And one way you can do this in almost a formulaic or systematic way is to practice gratitude. And it doesn't have to be ad hoc. You can actually do this every morning when you wake up, and it's as simple as sitting down and writing down 3 things that you are thankful for, that you are grateful for in your life. And what this does is it sets your day in motion with you thinking about the positive things in your life rather than the negative things. And almost invariably, this is helpful to create a day where you feel better at the start of the day. I've seen it work time and time and time again. I hope it works for you. One of the things that happens with anxiety is you tend to start thinking more and more, and you think about your thinking about your thinking about your thinking, and it becomes very overwhelming very quickly. What can happen is you also try to keep yourself busy so those anxious thoughts and feelings don't come up. And then what happens is later in the day, maybe they try and come up at night when you're trying to sleep, and then you can't get to sleep, and it forms a bit of a vicious cycle. So one of the things that I recommend to most, if not all of my clients who come in with anxious challenges, is to allow 5 minutes every day to simply sit and do nothing. There is no mantra, there's no meditation. Simply sit with nothing to do, no distractions, and let your mind think. And this will allow you to pay attention to your thoughts and feelings, see what comes up, and it also allows you some time during the day to process what comes up. It gives you opportunities to change the way you're behaving so you can deal with these challenging thoughts and feelings. Hello there, Adam from Wholehearted Hypnosis with another tip on how you can help relieve any anxious thoughts and feelings that you may be having at the moment. Unfortunately, for most of us in this day and age, they are part of life, and it becomes about managing, lessening, and then overcoming anxiety. One of the ways that has always proven to be helpful is just practicing some kind of breathing rhythm. And this works for a number of reasons. One, it actually oxygenates the body, so it's good in a chemical way, but it also gives you something to focus on. A very simple method of breathing is called square breathing, where you breathe in and you take 4 seconds or a count of 4 to breathe in, hold your breath in for 4, breathe out for 4, and then hold for 4 before you breathe in again. Now you can do that for any number of repetitions you like, maybe 5 or 10, and I'd be interested to know how that helps you. I know it helps a lot of people who come into the clinic. I hope it helps you too. As well as hypnosis, I also work with mindfulness and what I call applied mindfulness. And a very general way that you can do this is just to practice bringing your mind, your attention, your awareness back to what's happening right now. With anxiety, we're often worrying about what might happen in the future, and sometimes we ruminate about what happened in the past, but very rarely are we focusing on what's happening right now. And if that's happening for you, especially if you're focusing on the future, which seems to be what happens with anxiety, you can really get stuck in that pattern. And a way that you can interrupt that pattern and start to move towards overcoming anxiety is to remember what's going on right now. You can do this quite easily by simply stopping, pressing your hands together, taking a breath, and then looking around the space that you're in right now and seeing if you can notice 3 things that you've never noticed before. Now that might be 3 things you haven't seen, 3 things you haven't heard, or even 3 things you haven't smelt before. And if you try that, you'll be brought back to the present moment, and that will be helpful. G'day, it's Adam from Wholehearted Hypnosis. Another tip here about how you can deal with any anxious thoughts and feelings that are being unhelpful at the moment. One of the biggest troubles we have is the gap between what we are expecting in life and what our reality is. And that can be our expectations of other people, our expectations of how things are going to proceed, our expectation of outcomes. And when the gap between our expectations and reality is too big, we start becoming concerned about that. We start worrying about that, and that can be a source of anxiety. Now, what you can do is to start to notice where there is a gap between your expectations and your reality, and noticing how that gap is causing you some concern. Right now, simply paying attention to the difference between your expectations and your reality can give you some information so you can make better decisions and maybe change your behavior in some way that is helpful for you and reduces your anxiety.